Los Angeles Chargers get the win over the Atlanta Falcons. It's 17-13. Chargers move to 8-4. Falcons fall to 6-6. NFC South, Falcons still technically in first, but tied at 6-6 with the Bucs as far as record goes. Chargers get the win here. On the short week, I really thought the Falcons coming off the bye, Chargers on the short week, thought it would be a factor. It wasn't really.
It might have been had Kirk Cousins not had a ton of interceptions.
I mean, that was really the difference in the game because there was a pick six in there. So the Chargers offense, they only scored the 10 points.
And they were up early. Like it looked like I think I picked the Chargers in this game, and I was concerned that had gone to hell because Atlanta was looking good early. They were ahead, and then Kirk Cousins just melts down.
Yeah. There's a pick six in there. You highlighted, hey, there might have been a little bit of miscommunication in there, but then...
Yeah, there was definitely miscommunication in there. However, it may have also still been bad because it's 4th and 5, and that's short of the sticks. So I do think for some reason, I don't know what Mooney is doing on that play.
Opposing teams are playing short of the sticks on 4th down with Kirk Cousins.
Right. I don't know what Darnell Mooney is doing on that play. He runs this I've never seen that route before, ever. He runs like a sort of fake stop out route, right? And Kirk Cousins seemingly thinks he's going to settle down, throws to that, and Mooney carries on going, and then the corner is able to just jump in. It looks ridiculous, right? Even if he'd thrown it, like if Mooney had settled where he looked like he was going to settle and Cousins had completed it, he's a yard, maybe 2 yards short of the sticks, and the corner is driving on it. He's almost certainly getting tackled short of the first down. So it's a bad decision regardless, but it's not as, it looked completely inexplicable before you saw Mooney's weird route.
And then you have, I know the game ended on an interception. That was another 4th down. You got to kind of force one, but there's a red zone interception in there from Cousins. There's a fumble in there. Just a poor game overall. And look, when younger quarterbacks have bad games, you say it's a bad game.
Yeah.
When older quarterbacks have a bad game, and they happen to have just drafted a first-round quarterback that they love, you start to question things.
And they, they're not what they used to be physically, whether that's a permanent thing or that's just this is going to take a while coming back from an Achilles injury. But Cousins doesn't look, he never looked physically imposing, but now his arm is weaker. He looks frail and sort of decrepit anyway, just as a body language thing at quarterback. When he has a bad game, it looks like this can't work. This is non-viable. Like early in the season, people were like, oh, this Kirk Cousins is done. This is the worst move that's ever been made. Bench him immediately. And then he goes, 500 yards. And okay, actually Cousins can still play the game. But when he has a bad game, it looks like this is, the wheels have gone, it's done. It's last year, Dan Marino. It's time to move on, right? And yet, it might just be a bad game.
Yeah.
Against a really good pass defense.
Against a really good pass defense. And again, I think some of the decisions were just poor, though.
Yeah.
He's throwing into traffic. Whatever happened on the Mooney play.
It was a bad game.
Drake London played really well. I thought had 9 catches for 86 yards. He was keeping him in it. I sent this to you before. Bijan Robinson finishes with 26 carries for 102 yards. I've had a feeling maybe Atlanta was going to start pushing the workload his way a little bit more, especially as you see what Barkley's doing in Philly and what Henry's done with Baltimore. I do feel like Bijan's missing a little bit of that big play component to his game. He creates space extremely well. Would love to see him turn, and he's got exciting 7 and 8 yard gains that I'd love to see him turn into a 20 to 30 yard gain at some point. So he's he ends up averaging under 4 yards a carry. I feel like there's just an explosive element to his game maybe that he's missing. We'll see if that comes out at any point. And then from a Chargers perspective, what did I say yesterday? They ran only 46 offensive plays. So they get the win. Defense pulls it off, but Justin Herbert sacked 5 times against one of the worst pass rushes in the NFL. And Ladd McConkey finishes with 9 catches for 117. He had 117 out of the Chargers' 147, while Herbert's 147 passing yards. Chargers also had a 3-yard J.K. Scott completion.
Fake punt.
On a stopped fake punt.
It's another thing that went Atlanta's way.
That's the thing. From Atlanta's perspective, massive missed opportunities, and for the Chargers, it's just a Harbaugh game. They were really backed up on the fake punt call. And anytime there's a fake punt call, I hesitate to blame the coach because I didn't listen to the quotes or whatever. I hesitate to say, oh, that's a crazy call by Jim Harbaugh, because so many times it's an adjustment, it's a read. I don't know what ended up happening there, but that was potentially a huge swing in the game in Atlanta's favor that they could not capitalize on.
It was just well defended. It was a well defended fake punt by Atlanta, and again, a thing that broke their way, and they still weren't able to capitalize because Cousins melted down and had a disaster of a game. The pass rushing thing from Atlanta was big. Like this is the worst pass rushing team in the NFL, and they were a big factor in this game. Multiple sacks of Justin Herbert, and okay, the sacks represented a disproportionate volume of their pressure. It's not like they had, they were pressure everywhere. But when they did get pressure, they got sacks, and that's the most important thing. Those are the most impactful plays from the defense. That was huge and should have been a reason they won this game, but didn't because the quarterback.
It does feel like Herbert. I mean, there was points in the Charger season where it felt like Herbert was all right. He elevated his game. He had that stretch, very middle of the season where he was the highest graded PFF quarterback, and it's like, all right, he's throwing Quentin Johnston open and he's making the most of this receiving core. I just think the margin for error in this pass game is so small. If they are this dependent, I love Ladd McConkey. I'm glad he's having success. If they're this dependent on Ladd McConkey, they got to go to Kansas City next Sunday night, take on the Chiefs, try to show that they can compete with the best teams in the AFC. Haven't been able to do that yet this year. That feels like a concern here for the Chargers. But in this case, in this game, they pull it off. Another defensive battle, and they're kind of built for that.
Yeah, I mean, you need more than one viable passing option, and the Chargers don't really have one yet. But they're making it do with it with just the one.
Tarheeb Still was the guy with the pick six, and
who's been playing really well recently.
He has been big long corner in the fifth round. They're getting the most out of some of their draft picks, and it was him and Cam Hart had some success as late round corners, and Still's playing really well these last few weeks. Had the pick six this game.
That's one of those plays where some people still only really, like, if you're not playing man coverage, it doesn't count, right? That's a really good rep of zone coverage on that play. Like, he sort of splits the difference between the Mooney route and the Drake London route that's going to go in behind him, like a deeper out. He splits the difference on that pretty well. He's at the very minimum squeezing that lane or that throwing window to Drake London, and yet he's sitting there waiting for the underneath one to drive on it as soon as Cousins puts the ball in the air. They're not on the same page, but even if they had been, he's the guy that's going to make the tackle short of the first down. It's 4th and 5, assuming he doesn't miss a tackle, he makes a stop on for a 4-yard gain or a 3-yard gain, and we're talking about an elite defensive play in zone coverage, which is also coverage that counts.
Who doesn't like zone coverage?
Loads of people. People don't count zone coverage as coverage. It only counts if it's man to man.
They're dumb. I'm going to do it.
Uh-oh. What are you going to do?
Good game from number 3 on the Chargers. Derwin James. Game-sealing interception. Big plays in the run game. Flying around, making plays. Derwin James with a really good game here for the Chargers. Hope he doesn't get hurt at practice heading into the Chiefs game. So we got him and Kelsey. The him and Kelsey matchup that we always love.
That we never get.
That we never seem to get. We'll see if he survives practice for next week's Sunday night game.
They had that Sunday night. One rep where Derwin power bombed Kelsey, and that's basically it.
Yeah,
that's their matchup career.
Again, I just want to highlight NFC South race getting close now. I thought Atlanta had a golden opportunity. They were up a lot. Now the Bucs might be in position to overtake them with their easier schedule. Anything else here?
Nope. Thanks for watching all the way to the end of our video.
For more great content, click here to subscribe and here to watch another video. We'll see you again soon.